Hello, I'm Ellen Goldberg, and welcome to the Language of the Hand. In this segment, we're going to look at the mount and archetype of Mercury, which is located just under the pinky. In fact, both the pinky and the padding beneath it both are called finger of Mercury and mount of Mercury. Mercury, when we look at it in our solar system, is our smallest and fastest planet. And in the archetypes of people, they make for the smallest, most compact, and fast people. These people are swift in both mind and body. Remember that Mercury was the messenger of the gods, and our Mercury partakes of this archetype, and it is the communicator of the hand. Many fine writers, many communicators, and many business people all have Mercury. Mercury is a complex archetype, just like Mercury was a complex god. Through the laws of correspondence, many of the traits that are associated with the gods in mythology actually are in the archetype, and the different character traits associated with the planets are in the archetype too. Mercury was god of business, and we'll see that the Mercurians make fine business deals. We saw in the mount of Apollo how Apollo can sell and make some of the greatest salespeople. Well, Mercury knows how to buy. That's what we say. Mercury buys, Apollo sells. Mercury has a good sense of what money is. They enjoy thinking about money. Even when they're little kids, they love having their own bank accounts. If you have a Mercurial child, help them start to save. They love to think about money. To be average, the finger of Mercury will reach, if it is nicely set, just to the top section, just to that line that marks the beginning of its neighbor, Apollo. If it's shorter, and you'll find them shorter, they don't really like to think about money, they're not good at it, they don't care about it, and it doesn't matter what profession they're in, they don't want to balance their checkbook, and money's no fun to them. But if your Mercury comes to where it should, why then you can deal with these things. In the image that we're going to show you now, even though the finger is not held close to the hand, you can see that this finger of Mercury is long. Not only that, you can make out that the mount is full. Notice that there's even the tiniest bulge outwards here on the percussion, and you can see that in the photograph. That means Mercurial qualities are strong. If we want to say which way those qualities are going to go, we're going to look at the three phalanges. Remember, we've got the mental world, the practical world, and the physical world. For Mercury, it's a little different because they're so complex. The top world is the mental world, and then it's writing and communicating. And in the image we just showed you, you see that they have a very long top phalange. This person is a communicator. The middle phalange on Mercury deals with sciences, and many a fine doctor has a large center phalange on Mercury, and also good lawyers do too. The professions come a lot from Mercury. The third phalange of Mercury deals with love of money, and if it's overly developed, that's all they're interested in. Sometimes two phalanges are well developed and one is not so strong, and you know that they'll combine those two areas of life in a strong way. Always look at the hand as a whole, too, for those three worlds. Mercury is very clever and a problem solver. I may have mentioned that whenever a finger is bent, it brings extra cleverness and sharpness to that part of the brain. Mercury is already clever and sharp. It doesn't need that extra bend to be sharper, but some of them do, and instead of a finger that is straight, you'll find a finger that has a bend in it, more or less. Generally, it will bend at the top phalange, but it could bend a little deeper too. Why, that's like adding cleverness to cleverness. These people have a mind like a fox, and a lot will depend on their moral interior to see how they rope themselves in. because if you find this on a hand that is coarse, or doesn't have a very loving heart line, or a flat mount of Venus, or perhaps one of the traditional negative signs like a nice big fat X right there on the mount as a sign unto itself, then you know they're going to be looking for ways to outwit and deceive their fellow man, because the god Mercury was also the god of thieves and the god of the marketplace. As I said, very complex, because he was also the god of medicine, and some of our finest healers and most honest and beautiful souls have Mercury. But personally, if I were going to hire an accountant, I'd hire one with a straight finger and not a bent finger. One last thing, Mercury is very family-minded. They get along with children in the most wonderful way, and they love family life, and they're very clannish. They like to control that family. Mercury likes to control things, but it doesn't like the spotlight. Many times when you read the hand of Mercurian, they're going to show you their hand with those fingers closed. They may not be as private as closed fingers are, but Mercurians are private, so when they hold it up to you and you see those fingers tight together, you know you go slowly and carefully. If you win their trust, you'll see the hand open like a flower right before your eyes.